Hi everyone, welcome to the OpenBlender demo. Let's start with what we'll do. We'll browse through a Walmart sales data set that was used for a public machine learning competition, the objective of which was to forecast revenue with the minimum error. What we'll do to enrich our ML model for Walmart's use case is to blend external data such as the workdays for the United States, the Dow Jones Index, the oil price and the gold price. Then we'll vectorize business news from the different sources and also blend those with Walmart's dataset, which I'll explain in a little while. So this is the Walmart dataset, and this is the timestamp column, and these here are the weekly sales. Let's just upload them very quickly to OpenBlender through the front end interface. So what this does is it profiles the features, which in this case we only have two, the timestamp and the weekly sales. It looks for numeric and categorical features as well as for open text and most importantly timestamp or geolocation, because that is what it uses as a key column to blend datasets from disparate sources. So let's just save it now. Great, so now we have the Walmart dataset loaded to the platform with its two only variables. For predictive purposes, we would usually test and train with our target feature. Since we only have these two, we will look for new features to enrich the model. So we can select a blend by observations. This would mean that our anchor dataset, the Walmart dataset, will remain intact. Or we can set an anchor key as a time interval. So let's say 12 hours. So what this does is that it aggregates the data in 12-hour observations, and if needed for the case of missing values, it imputes the applicable intervals. So now let's take a look for the US workdays. This is a dataset with all the federal workdays. Let's take a look at the preview to understand. So this is our original dataset, the original timestamp and weekly sales, but now we have the additional features of the US federal workdays, which shows if each day in the given time span is festive or weekend or one of the two. Let's go ahead and add some more data. Let's blend the Dow Jones Index. Now let's find the oil price. So this is the data set of the daily crude oil price, and let's just find the gold price. Great, so let's just apply that. If we look at the preview, we have a very enhanced data set that has our original data and a lot of new features, such as the daily change in the Dow Jones Index, its high, low and open prices, or the crude oil price and the gold price over here. So we have the same data set enriched with many new columns from which we can create models to perform predictions. So now we can go and pull the data API, and we just have to copy the code here if we want to download it to a Python data frame or here to an R data frame. So let's just copy the Python data frame. All we have to do is paste it and run it. We have to confirm the task we're about to perform, and then it downloads the data with our original features and all the new columns. But this is just the start of it, so let's go to the interesting part. Now we want to look for business news to blend, so we can use this to enrich our model. Firstly, we have to convert all the news to numbers. Let's look for the CNN business news, for instance. We have a live stream dataset with all the daily news headlines and titles. We want these to be converted to numerical values, so what we will do is we'll create a text vectorizer. Now let's look for more business news. Let's just add the Business Insider Finance headlines and titles. We have to select the columns from which text is going to be extracted, and we can select as many news datasets as we choose, like this other one here, and choose the open text columns we want to use. However, we can also go in another direction and look for Donald Trump's Twitter account and add his tweets as sources as well. So let's just create the vectorizer, name it Walmart Business Vectorizer. We will select a range, in this case from minimum 1 to maximum 2 words to keep it simple. Language is set to English, so we can remove the stop words, and the minimum count for each token is 2. Let's just leave these parameters as they are and create the vectorizer. We now have all the most frequent n-grams. What this does, it creates a very large table with roughly 5,000 numerical columns with the tokens. The tokens are the individual words or sequential groups of words, also called engrams, which are turned on if that engram is mentioned in the text of each news headline or title. So for instance, here the Mexico token is turned on with a 1, and we can see that this text has the word Mexico in it. Now we have the news in numeric format, so now let's blend that to our Walmart dataset. We just need to go to the dashboard to look for it. Let's go ahead and blend the data. Default time aggregation, and then we'll browse through our own data to look for the business news vectorizer we created. So here it is. We'll just apply the default settings for our blend. Let's go ahead and download it and run the code. Great, so now we have the complete dataset downloaded to our notebook with a lot of features, with the tokens in the title of each one, which include the ID of the dataset with the vectorized business news as prefix. As you can see, it is blended to our weekly sales, all of it in a numeric format and ready to be plugged into any machine learning model.